host, Jeremiah Lionstone, and today we'll be talking about Leo Maculosus, the smallest planet in the universe. Leo Maculosus, or Leo for short, was shrunken down to be placed on a speck in Earth's atmosphere. Today we brought in 3 specialists. Let's bring in our first one now. Here's Lionel Purnell. So Lionel, what is your occupation?
I'm actually a fisher and a farmer. I own my own business. It's called Fish Farm. We work with the government to provide food to the entire society.
So tell us about the day in the life of your job.
We usually wake up about 5 a.m. We get everything done about 10 a.m. And after that we go fishing. After a couple hours of fishing, we get everything in a warehouse. And in the warehouse, we just sort everything, get them ready for trade. We send them to the government. They take care of that part for us. But after that, we start bringing them all to markets. We usually trade for about 2 to 3 hours a day, depending on how the day is. And after that, we just go home, cook, eat, and we're normal people.
So you're happy with your life?
I'm pretty happy with my life. It's a nice life.
Can you tell us about the religion and holidays?
Actually, yes, I can. So the figurehead of our religion is actually a live lion. He's taken care of by all the priests, who are all women and are trained from birth to take care of lions. They are also scholarly people. They learn since they're born to take care of lions, to train lions, to do pretty much everything just about lions. They take care of them until they die, so it's a full-time job. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Can you tell us at all about the holidays or festivals that go on based around this religion?
Well, there's one main holiday that takes place every year, and what we do is we get together a bunch of food, mostly meat, and we offer it to the almighty lion god. I'm not sure if he eats it all, but we just all give it to him, and the priests take it over from there.
Is there a reason no seafood is brought to him?
The lion doesn't like seafood. We use seafood as a main trade, but the lion doesn't have any preference for seafood. We found that in the past, when we give lions seafood, there are bad omens that happen.
Oh, so it's almost against the religion.
Yeah,
So
it's sort of like it's just something that you don't do.
superstition.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Also, we have once a month, we have Cat Day, which our cats that we own, we give them food as well. It's not that much meat, it's more fish. They like the fish. And milk. They love milk.
Well, thank you, Lionel, for coming.
Thank you.
We'll be right back, and when we come back, we'll have Queen Rory Lionstein.
At Fish Farm's local clammery, get your clam on. We only use natural ingredients when going our clams, like salt water, fire, maybe other clams, I don't know, Canadians, jellyfish extract, Devon Broughton, dictionaries, crystals, bath salt, antifreeze, batteries, and, throw in a hair comb here and there and make it look nice. We are located at 2 Wallaby Way. That's Leo's stand. Are you in good clams?
Welcome back to the fireplace. Here's our next guest, Queen Rory Lionstein. Action. So Rory, well, you're hair and makeup.
Sorry.
It's okay. So, Rory, can you tell us a little bit about the government of the spec?
In our government, we have 4 kings or queens. We have the King of Defense, which is represented by clubs, the King of Agriculture, which is represented by spades, King of Education, which is represented by hearts. We have 4 speakers for the houses, and they're represented by jacks, and that's what we call them. We have 11 members that belong to each of the 4 houses.
So what are you the queen of?
I'm the Queen of Hearts, also known as the Queen of Education.
Can you tell us a little bit about the policies on Leo?
We're very open-minded on Leo. We support gay marriage, we support abortion, we don't discriminate against any minorities at all.
That's good. What is the currency like on Leo?
Why do you have to do that?
I'm just getting comfortable. But
It's his
please,
show.
please answer the question.
The currency on Leo is a coin. It's called a clion. On one side is a lion, which we obviously adore in our society. On the other side is a clam, which is our main export.
So are there different increments?
Yes,
Of these
there
coins?
are. The increments are based on color, so you know which is which. All the coins are the same size. They all have the same design. Ones are yellow, tens are green, and then hundreds are red, and so on. And it goes all the way up to $1 million, which is black.
So there's $1 million coin.
Yes.
And is it bigger than the normal coin?
No,
Or
all same size.
all same size. So what's to stop someone from like stealing one? They could steal $1 million with one coin.
Well, they could, but we do have a police, in,
And they enforce, so the crime
yes.
in Leo
We're
is
very strict on crime.
Okay. So it seems like the perfect world where you can raise your children without feeling unsafe.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's move on to education. Tell us a little bit about it.
In Leo, we believe that everyone should receive an education, which is
For free?
Yes, it's paid by the people's taxes. Children are educated up until age 18. Once the children turn 18, we have them all take a test in a very strict environment, make sure there's no cheating, that they're comfortable because it's very important. And all throughout school, they're taught, how important this test is. And they take it and their results will be given to them about like a month or so, and they'll know what their job is going to be for the future.
So this test after the 18 years of school
Yes.
determines your occupation for the rest of your life.
Yes, in school, the children receive a very well-rounded education so that they're prepared for any kind of job in the future. But once they get their job, they will be trained further to know things that they couldn't know before, because some areas like the government, everyone can't know that information.
Yeah. What age do the kids start school?
Age 3, very early on, because we believe education is very important.
Okay. So what happens when one of the students isn't doing well in school?
Well, we make sure that they receive a lot of support from either like a tutor or even their teacher themselves, because we need to make sure that these kids learn.
So you all get them back on track.
Yes, it's very important that no
So-
one fails.
Okay.
And we have like a very strict motto that we want all children to succeed.
So are the children or students taught religion in the school?
This they are. We have a religion-based class that teaches them everything they need to know for later on.
Okay. And usually the kids, they accept the religion, of course,
Yes.
because there is no other religion on the spectrum.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, Rory, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back. And when we come back, we'll have Lion Cranston.
I used to think maybe you love me, now baby I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day when you knock on.
Welcome back to the fireplace. Here's our next guest, Lion Cranston. So Lion, what is your occupation?
I am the head and CEO of a major trade federation. We export and import goods from all the different specs all around our galaxy. Yeah,
What
it's
is-
great.
What is your major export?
Our major export, as you know, is shellfish, specifically clams, oysters, mussels, the like. And we trade all around.
And what do you get in return?
It really depends on what our spec needs at any given point. It could vary from other foods, grains, textiles and clothing, delicacies, anything really.
So do we have other specs out there that are friends with us that we
Um,
have agreements with that?
We're friends with a lot of specs. I wouldn't say we are really enemies with anyone. There are some more aggressive specs, or I guess you'd call them countries. There are some more aggressive ones, and we tend not to deal with them because nothing good really has come from that. But the rest of them we're pretty peaceful with. We haven't really gotten into any
So we have
major conflicts.
agreements where.
Yeah, we have trade agreements.
Okay. So how do you go about trading from spec to spec?
We have, as I said, we have a federation of, or at least my company. There are multiple others.
Of course.
Of airships, which are basically giant ships with hot air balloons, and they don't move very fast, but they're able to carry a lot, and they're refrigerated because we're transporting shellfish, which obviously need to be cooled. And that also helps if we're bringing something back that needs to be refrigerated. It helps to have that just in case.
Now what's to stop one of those more aggressive specs from coming and pirating one of these cargo ships?
We have, in our Air Force, we have a trained fleet of hummingbirds, which we've, as I said, we've trained them for aerial combat, both offensive and defensive, and they have various flight patterns that they're able to run basically by themselves, and in any scenario of crisis, we're able to call upon them, and they've been very successful. So.
Okay. Well, while we're on this topic, why don't you tell us a little bit about our defense on the spec and our these?
Okay, like I said, we have the Air Force, the hummingbirds. We also have our more domesticated defense or security, which are actually highly trained ninjas. And when they're doing their job, you never see them, which is pretty sweet, actually. They're pretty
So
cool.
they're stealth ninjas.
Yeah, and
With swords and all?
I don't know. I don't.
Because
I
you've
don't-
never seen them
it's
because they're
classified.
stealthy.
Yeah, I've never seen that much.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, don't touch me.
Huh.
Oh, okay, so next question. So how are people chosen to be in the military and when do they start training?
Well, similar to our education system, where they start at 3 years old. Also at 3 years old, the military comes around and selects viable candidates to join the military. And from there, instead of going to school, they join the military academy, where they basically they train. They're given, instead of a cat, they're given a lion, which they grow up with. They train with the lion. They train with each other, and they also go to school. It's very rigorous. It's very strict policy, and they grew up with that mentality, and that's just the way our army is. And
So
it's
they're all,
worked.
they all do it together, so they're forming that brotherhood.
Yeah, and
then-
they grow up that way, and that's the only thing they know. And I mean, we haven't had much issues as far as violence and crime, and they've always been there to deal with it. And you don't really hear much about it because you rarely see them.
So almost people are intimidated to do anything illegal because
Yeah.
defense is so great.
Yep.
Okay.
It,
And so-
it's very good.
And the lions do fight.
Yeah. They're basically like, I guess the equivalent would be on other planets, like attack dogs, kind of.
Okay.
But, I mean, they're lions, so they're bigger and they're more ferocious.
And 10 times more badass, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, Lion, can you tell me a little bit about our military history, whether the wars we fought or anything?
We've had a couple conflicts. We're pretty proud to say we've never really instigated anything. We've only really been there to defend ourselves. There's been a couple counts where other countries have taken like an airship hostage in return for money or other goods or what
Ransom.
have you. Ransom, yeah. And our trained hummingbirds have been able to take care of it and dispatch of them. And I mean, every once in a while, something like that will happen, and either us or one of our allies are there to help us. Our domesticated army never really has had the opportunity or needed the opportunity to like go out and attack another spec or whatever, because we've never had that issue, which is very good.
Now, what happens if one of the members of the spec does commit a crime that's is a large crime, so they need, like, what are the punishments?
Well, when they're captured for a crime, when they're taken into custody, They, depending on what it is, they will be put in a cell until a trial, and then at that trial, a panel of judges and
Are those judges?
they're elected,
Okay.
and they're pretty high-ranking officials.
Okay.
And at this trial, they're given a lawyer, and at the trial, it's decided what will happen to them based on how severe the allegations are towards them, or whether or not there's any proof to back up these allegations.
So they get whatever's coming to them. It's very
Yes.
just. Okay.
And we do have a death penalty for severe offenders of the law.
So Wine, tell us a little bit more about the death penalty.
Okay. If the convicted if it's proven that their actions and crimes is, if it's bad enough that they should deserve the death penalty, when we wait until our spec rotates and lines up with the Earth's gravitational field, so that we're pointing straight at Earth, and they get launched towards Earth, where it takes usually 10 to 15 days, and for them to fall all the way to Earth. And
They get.
I mean,
they have the time to think about what
they
they've
think
done
about
wrong.
what they've done, and it's we don't like to talk about it that much, but I mean it's the brutal truth. And I mean we haven't had to do it much, but when we do have to do it, it's pretty severe.
So, to kind of wrap things up. So, are you happy with your occupation in your life here on Leo?
I'm very happy. It's very fair. I feel I have a lot of freedom. I have a lot of rights. I like everything. I mean,
So one might call it the perfect society.
I mean, nothing's perfect, but I feel like we're as close as we can get.
You know what? That's a great answer. Thanks for coming on our show. We've had a great show.